Hey, welcome back to the Open Tabs podcast. My name is Joe,
My name is Billy.
and we're excited to have you today. We're going to talk about some open tabs we've got in our brains. I've had a tab open in my brain for a couple of days now. So we went camping this weekend.
How was that?
It was good. It was rainy. And when it rains, we like to watch movies. The problem is our TV in our RV has gone on the blink. And so now we're trying to figure out what to do. I don't want to have to like unwire and rewire a bunch of stuff. So I thought, okay, I'll get a TV DVD combo and just plug that in, right? It should be pretty easy. Not so, Billy. Do you know why?
Tell us why.
Because they don't make TV DVD combos anymore. Let me show you this. This is
Why
crazy.
not?
These are the tabs that I have open on these are my actual tabs I have open. Give me a second here. Yeah, I don't care. Entire screen. Sure, why not? Oh, look at that. There's 1,000 of us. So look at this. I'm just trying to find a 32-inch TV with a DVD player, and they're
It seems to me like this should be an easy thing to find.
$140 for 24 inches or $170 for 32 inches. I don't want to spend $170 on a TV for my RV that I'm going to watch 6 times a year, maybe.
Fair enough.
But like, look at this, $399. What are they making them out of gold?
Why not buy a separate portable DVD player and plug it in
I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to buy a DVD player and
for
buy a
30
TV
or $40? They're
and
cheap.
run all the wires and do all the thing. And it's, this is the life, man. This is my life that I do not enjoy. That's my open tab for today.
When's the last time I even played an actual physical DVD? I can't remember.
Well, when you don't have internet and you're at a campsite.
Okay.
They're all geared towards streaming, but I don't want to run up my bill on my, and there's something nostalgic about perusing through your DVD. So this week, what we did was Disney back in the day, they created this thing for parents called Disney's Fast Play. And you basically stick the DVD in and you hit close and it will just go. And it plays some previews and it plays some songs and then it plays your movie. And so that's what we did this time because we didn't have a remote to hit play on the DVD player or to like control that. We couldn't really control the volume on the TV. So we just lived with it being super loud because the remote I had programmed to these two items, I guess went bad or something. I don't know. So anyway, long story short, I need a new TV and DVD player for the RV. And that's what I was shocked to find, that to get them combined is very expensive. Like, 3/4 of the price of the 55-inch TV I just stuck up in my living room.
So this is now the definition of roughing it when you're camping, is when you don't have a remote to adjust the volume.
Yeah.
You can't even call it camping anymore at that point.
This is a first world problem for sure. All right, what's going on with you?
Man, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm going to do it. I have a storage unit. I moved in May, and this is March, so less than a year. And it started at $35 a month, and 4 months later, it went to $95 a month, and last month it went to $189. It is now
they
$189.
Like quadrupled and then doubled the price.
Yes.
That's
so
crazy.
I'm taking today's Monday, of course. We record on Mondays. It's the only thing we have to look forward to, perhaps. And I'm taking Thursday and Friday off to get all the stuff out of the storage unit and stick it somewhere. Because $189 a month, you gotta be kidding me.
That's crazy. That is so nuts, man. It's crazy to me, like all these storage places that go up and you think, do we have stuff to pack in there? But of course we do. I have a shed in my backyard. I have a couple of storage closets in my house. And there are times when I'm like, should I get a storage unit for all the crap I don't need to look at every day or every month or every week? And I seriously think like my life would be better if I could just get some stuff that I don't want to get rid of, but I don't want in my house anymore out of here. But I keep refusing because, obviously in your situation, you live in Midtown Atlanta, you're not going to have, all your things in your condo in Midtown Atlanta. But in our situation, I feel like, well, I'll just buy another shed and throw it on the property somewhere. So
yeah.
That's
the nice part about it. It's actually it's going to end up helping me get rid of it, whether it's donate, sell, trash, because out of sight is out of mind. And especially in that part of town that I don't typically go. So I'm probably going to get something half the size or less that's in the area and then start selling stuff. Cause that's, I don't need if it's been there for all these months, I don't need it. I don't need it.
Yep. Yep. I feel you, man. All right. So we are going to repeat the segment from last week, worth it or not. But this time I am going to ask the questions and put you in the hot seat, mister.
Dun dun dun.
This segment is called Worth It or Not. I don't know. I just whatever. We should have sound effects one day. That'd be fun. All right.
I can work on it.
Okay.
That is a sound effect I just
There you
made
go.
up that doesn't
I
apply
like
to
it.
anything.
I like it. That's perfect. Okay, so fancy coffee machines / espresso. You could take this anywhere you want. Fancy coffee machines, espresso, lattes from Starbucks. Is fancy coffee worth it?
Man, I am not on the level of like a real coffee snob, but I definitely am above the like Folgers drip coffee. Like I have a Keurig machine for convenience, but I don't like it because you can't do much with it. You're kind of stuck with what it does or what it doesn't do. I've gone through phases where I have a what's it called? Like the Italian, I forget the name of it. Kind of a percolator, like the old school Italian one that goes straight on the stove.
Oh yeah. I don't know what that's called either.
French press. I don't do the French press because you got to clean all the layers of it.
Mm-hmm.
But really, if I'm like, ooh, I can taste the such and such notes, I'm lying. I don't know if it's like if you don't drink the coffee black, you're not even a connoisseur. They say.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know. I feel
I
like I can appreciate a good cup though.
I feel like I used to. Well, so I worked at Starbucks for a little while, so I did get to that like level of tasting the coffees.
Mm,
But I have to say, like, I, for the longest time, drank coffee black because I felt like it was the manly thing to do.
mm.
And I hope that I'm not the only person who drank coffee black just because I didn't want to be
I
embarrassed
did.
in front of my,
I tried to
like,
acquire the taste because I would do it and I would kind of internally I'd be like ha, 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 bragging like oh I take it black and people would be like, oh you
right?
do.
You want to be that guy, but honestly,
Yeah.
black coffee sucks. Like, even expensive black coffee isn't great, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? And so now I don't put sweetener in my coffee. I feel pretty good about that. I just put some half and half in my coffee. But like, I don't know, man. I have an espresso machine and I do actually enjoy espresso, but is it worth having a completely separate kitchen appliance for? I don't know that it is. I honestly don't. I don't even keep mine in the kitchen because my wife would kill me if I had a second coffee maker in the kitchen.
So this
Yeah.
comes to mind. I haven't thought about this in probably years now. The most expensive coffee in the world or in the top 2 or 3, I don't know if it is anymore. It's like coffee beans that have been like digested through this like version kind of a cat
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
serval or something like that, and I bought like just enough for 2 cups on the internet for my buddy Sean and I, and to date, we have not had the courage to actually try it. It's still sealed in the package. Would you? Would you?
No,
Could
dude, poop coffee is not my idea of fun, bro.
but it's
I'm not even
expensive, so it
going there.
must be good.
Yeah, no, I don't. There are people who say it's great. They're like, it's amazing. I also won't eat
Tastes like a
caviar, to be
crappy
honest.
cup of coffee. Man, after this, I really feel like I'm in the dumps.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Sorry. Ooh, I feel
Boy,
flushed.
I almost didn't get that last one. That was good. Okay. Here's another one. You have quite the experience I recently learned in cruising. Are cruise add-ons worth it? You know, there's all these add-ons available. There's chef's table and there's drink packages and there's excursions and there's all those different kinds of things. Are cruise add-ons really worth it for the average cruise goer?
For the average cruise goer, for the most part, I would say no. There are some exceptions. Now, when it comes to excursions, I definitely say no. If you have the time ahead of time, organize your own through a local business. It's a fraction of the price and you won't have the crowds. The downside of that is you don't have guarantees. You might, but you don't have automatic guarantees like you do with the cruise. So if you book an excursion through a cruise ship and something happens, you don't go to the port that day because of a storm or anything like that, or you're late coming back, you're good to go. They will refund the money or the ship will wait for you because you are in the official excursion. The downside is you pay a lot more money and you're surrounded with a ton of people you've been surrounded with all week. I have
Mm,
much better experiences booking my own for a fraction of the price with my own private group, and you just have to make sure that you take the risk into consideration. I don't think the add-ons for the drinks and all that is worth it. Now, one thing I do think is worth it is paying premium to go to the premium restaurants.
really?
Why would you do that if you've already got unlimited free decent food? Because in my experience, the premium, yet it is absolutely worth it. I mean, going
Okay.
from a decent meal, now I'm in what feels like a five-star restaurant and I'm getting all these courses cooked to order from a menu for the extra 40 bucks or whatever. It is absolutely worth it.
Interesting. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. We're going on a cruise later this year. So we're trying to evaluate now. I'm a heavy, let me say this the right way. I find a lot of joy in drinking in general, not necessarily alcohol, just the thought of drinking. So my favorite food typically is liquid. Doesn't have to be alcohol, just I like drinks. And so I'm thinking about getting the drink package that doesn't have alcohol, but has like shakes and mocktails and stuff like that because I just really enjoy like a soda or a specialty beverage or a milkshake. But then I'm like, man, I'm gonna drink my weight in milkshakes if I pay $26 or $29 a day for
Right.
these specialty drinks. So I have to kind of weigh that out. How much weight do I need to lose before the cruise if I want to be able to take
Here
take in
here's
milkshakes
the
every day?
deciding factor in my mind. If I'm going on a cruise because it is a budget cruise or a budget vacation, then I'm going to do it cheaply and I don't need a drinks package or whatever. But if I'm going without the thought of this is the vacation because it's cheap, if it's just the vacation because it's the vacation, then what's a few extra bucks to really enjoy yourself? That's the main difference.
Yeah,
I'm going on a cruise personally because it's cheap. If it wasn't so cheap, I wouldn't bother. I'd rather do something else. But if that is the vacation of the year, spend a few extra. You're not going to remember that you spent it or not in a year, but you'll remember that you had a good time.
I love that. That's good advice. All right, couple more here. Car wash subscriptions. Worth it, not worth it.
I have one. I say it's worth it because I drive Uber part-time and I choose to keep my car clean for my Uber passengers. But man, there are times where if I don't drive for a week or or 2, I don't use it as often. So I'm paying 45 bucks a month and there's been months where I've only used it twice. But for me, I say worth it. But if you use it at least 2 or 3 times a month, it's worth it.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Last one. This is for our tech friends. I don't understand this because I'm probably not as technologically savvy as most, but I think you understand this. Mechanical keyboards, yay or nay?
Oh, I should go bring the other one in here. I have a $350 mechanical keyboard in the other room. I do this for a living. I'm not a techie type of tech, meaning I'm not a hobbyist. I'm not a gamer. I don't build computers. I can, but I don't. It's not my thing out of work. But still, I'm spending so many hours a week doing a job in front of a computer that I've got to have the few tools that I have to be spot on. And so I'm very particular about my mechanical keyboards. I have a few, I have different caps to go on them for different purposes over time. Same thing with the mouse, the monitors, it's the chair. I have a $500 chair. I've got to be set up and be comfortable in order to feel like I can work properly.
Okay, so what is it about a mechanical keyboard then that is so much better than a regular? Because I usually use an ergonomic keyboard because I early on in my career had some issues with like carpal tunnel and stuff like that. So I typically use an ergonomic keyboard. I get that, right? Medical necessity. What is it about a mechanical keyboard that makes it better?
At the end of the day, it's preference. It's personal preference. There's different types that are clicky. We call it thocky, Thocky is the term, but clicky, they make noises or they don't, or they're quiet, or how much feedback does it give you on your fingertips? How much do you have to press down? But when you invest in a good quality mechanical keyboard, the nice part is you can change the keys. You can change it.
Interesting.
Do you want it to be clicky clicky? Do you want to have thicker or thinner key pads that you can have ones that are angled differently? You can change them out. There's a little tool I have, and I take every key off, and I have sets of keys for the same keyboard that can be interchangeable. So there's a lot you can do when you invest in the keyboard. It's one of those things that up until the time I bothered with expensive keyboards, I wouldn't have even thought anything of it. And then once I started getting into it, and then I went back to a $20 keyboard, I'm like, how do I, you know, how did I live all this time with, so personal preference at the end of the day.
Awesome. Well, now you got me thinking I got to try one out, maybe. All right. So we talked about this on episode 1. I read a Mad Libs that my kids did, and we wanted to find a good Mad Libs to do with our audience. So we found a Mad Libs. I have not read this Mad Libs. So in true fashion, Billy, you are going to give me the part of speech that I need to provide to you that you'll plug in, and then you'll read the story at the end.
And to be fair, I can't remember a time I did Mad Libs beyond the age of like 10. I've read yours that you've sent to me that you've done with your boys.
Yeah, and I promise not to put butt crack or butt cheeks in this one.
I mean, hey, whatever goes, whatever floats your boat. All right. So I need from you first an adjective.
Okay, my favorite adjective is cantankerous.
Cantankerous. It's not a spelling bee. An animal.
Red panda, that's my favorite animal.
Red panda. Isn't that a Chinese restaurant?
No, that's Panda Express, and that's actually an American restaurant now I think about it.
Same
But
difference.
red pandas are from China.
Okay, let's have a verb.
Scoot.
Scoot. All right. I need a technology device.
All right, well, this is not a modern technology device, but let's say the rotary phone.
Rotary phone. All right.
It was
Now-
a technology device back in the day.
That's correct. That's correct. At one time it was cutting edge, I'm sure. An emotion.
Let's go with anger.
Okay. I need now an adjective.
Full.
Full.
Is that an adjective or a state of being?
It can be an adjective.
Yeah.
Food. I need a food.
Samosas.
Samosas. Yum. A verb ending in ing.
Kicking.
Kicking. A body part.
I'm not going to say butt crack. I'm going to say
Toenail. Silly word.
flibbity gibbet.
Fiddy gibbet. Sound it out, Billy. A number.
There's a number I would say, but I'm not going to say it. Let's go with 2,422.
Adjective.
Crappy.
Job title.
Let's go with nurse.
Nurse. And a verb.
Call.
Call. Okay. And a random object.
Cigar box guitar. I have one sitting on my wall. That's why I thought of it.
All right. And we are ready to go. So shall I read it out?
Yeah, you could share your screen too if you wanted.
Yeah, okay. Let's do that. These are my sound effects.
All right.
Okay. It was a cantankerous Monday morning in the IT department when suddenly this phone started ringing like a red panda that learned how to scoot. IT support. Have you tried turning your rotary phone off and on again? I asked with angry confidence. The caller replied, my computer just made a full noise and now it smells like samosas. I immediately started kicking toward their office while holding my toenail and whispering the sacred IT word, flibbity gibbet, flibbity gibbet. When I arrived, there were 2,422 very crappy employees staring at the screen like I was some kind of nurse. I calmly pressed one button, watched the system call back to life, and handed them a cigar box guitar as a temporary fix. Another crisis solved by IT, and nobody will remember it tomorrow. And that concludes another episode of Things That Definitely Happened in IT Today.
Actually, that kind of sounds like something that could happen. And it reminds me of my favorite show. I don't know if one of my favorite shows is the IT Crowd, but the British version. They had an American version for like, I don't know, half a season. The British version's hilarious. It's got Chris O'Dowd in it. Fantastic show. And he always answers the phone. Hello, IT. Did you try turning it off and back on again? Like that. It's good stuff. And actually, that brings us to our sponsor. Today, we have another sponsor, Billy. Did you know that?
We have a sponsor on episode 4. We already
Yeah.
had one sponsor before, the sponsor of your past. This is
Yeah,
great. We're going to be rich.
Yeah, today's episode is actually sponsored by Office Printers, the only technology powerful enough to sense urgency and immediately go offline. That's right, if you've ever asked yourself, PC load letter, what the does that mean? You're not alone. The shared Office Printer is a constant reminder that you spend most of your time selling your intellect and physical presence to the highest bidder. And you'll spend the foreseeable future staring at fabric-covered or painted cinder block walls, watching traffic drive by through the partially opened vertical blinds, wondering if walking into it might not be a better solution. Have no fear, that contract that needs to be printed by 4 p.m. will almost certainly not print until 3:59, so it's at least 5 minutes late to your boss's desk because the office printer has a jam. But you can go ahead and blame Sandy because she tried to load A4 paper into the 8.5 by 11 tray again. That's right, Office Printers, printing out 10 copies of Doug's cruise itinerary instead of the documents you need since 1996. Thanks, Office Printers, for your support.
Brilliant. Make sure you put our code in the thing
That's
to
right.
get the discounted thing of the thing on the other thing.
I'll tell you, it's funny because when that movie came out, Office Space, and that guy yelled, PC load letter, what the does that mean? I literally lost my everything because I had seen that at my mom's office. I was still young. It was 1999. But I had seen that at my mom's office and I had heard someone go, I literally heard a lady go, "What does PC load letter mean?" And my mom, go ahead.
The scene where they take baseball bats and beat the printer to bits like it was some sort of, violent, whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember. And it's funny because my mom was in IT. She was a network engineer for a lot of years. And literally I would hear her say, "Darling, that means it needs more paper." And she would just put more paper in the printer for them and close it. But yeah, it was I laughed heartily the first time I heard the character say that, and it made me think of all the things that I went through my first couple of years working in an office. I don't know if you remember like fax machines printing out like real estate flyers randomly. Someone printing off like random stuff that they really shouldn't be printing off on a shared workspace, like all those fun things about being in an office that probably are what would be, I don't know, HR violations today, I would guess.
And they're a dying breed now. They think things are certainly different, but I think back with mostly fond memories, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so today's main topic, weird jobs when we were young. Or I kind of changed, like I was thinking of like when we were teens, so jobs that teens would never have now, that we may have had. So what's a weird job that you had when you were young, Billy?
There are so many. This is a whole nother episode that we'll have to revisit, but I will share with you one in particular. So I was 17 and there is a long backstory behind it that we'll skip for the moment, but this was a telemarketing company out in the boonies, Covington, Georgia. This is where I met one of my close friends, Sean, that I'm still friends with to this day. And this was a very low kind of company. You could quite literally come out of prison from a 20-year bid and walk in the front door and have a job.
Nice.
It was telemarketing, cold calling on the phone, and it was straight commission. There was no guarantee. You got a percentage of whatever you sold. If you didn't sell anything, you didn't get any money. And what we did is we called public schools and we asked for the principal or for whoever bought the supplies, and then we would pitch them over the phone to buy pens, pencils, erasers, markers, custom-made bumper stickers, folders, that type of stuff. Now, it wasn't a scam. We were actually selling an item, and they got the item shipped, and then they paid after they got the item. So it wasn't a scam, but just barely not a scam. We would pitch this, amazing product, and it takes quite a skill because they've never met me. They've never heard of my company. We don't have a catalog. We don't have a website. And in 5 minutes, I need them to agree to buy something that they've never seen. just from my description, just from my description. And if I sold anything, I got money, and if I didn't, I didn't. And so we had tons of people that would come in, and very few would even come back for the second day of work because it was a hard gig. And I learned a lot about sales. I learned that you're not really selling the item, you're selling yourself. If you can
Mm-hmm.
sell
Mm-hmm.
yourself and they like you and they laugh at you, then they'll buy whatever crap you're selling. And so I did that at 17, and to this day learned a lot of life lessons from that company, but it was an awful experience. I saw people doing drugs in the middle of the afternoon out in the open. I mean, you name it. If you could sell, you could sell, and if you couldn't, you couldn't. And they let anybody come in and have a go.
Wow, that's crazy. To be 17 and in a telemarketing job is pretty crazy because that's definitely not something you typically find a 17-year-old in. And to have to sell school supplies to schools feels like it would be very difficult because it's like, well, who even does that? Who goes through that, trying to find the right decision maker, trying to get them to open up the wallet or change, from Fred, the guy that they've been using forever. I can't imagine. It's funny too. I remember one of my telemarketing jobs, certain guys would come back from lunch and you could tell that they had what we would call a liquid lunch in the
Yep.
day.
Yep.
And you could tell that they were like just three sheets to the wind from like noon to 4 o'clock before they left. They're so happy, so jovial, also slurring their speech really badly. And I'm thinking, are they getting appointments that way? How are they? Because it was software telemarketing. So we're trying to just get appointments for account executives or whatever. And I remember thinking, are these guys actually getting appointments this way? What is going on right now? But yeah, it's telemarketing's a tough gig, man. And it is definitely, I would say that qualifies as weird because you were 17 years old.
Yeah, and here's the thing, I did pretty well, and there would be, PhD principals with 4,000 students that bought something from me,
That's
and so
awesome.
amazing, amazing,
I would buy something from you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
thanks.
in a heartbeat. Yeah. Okay, so my weird job in high school, a job I definitely don't think that I would ever put a teenager in. I worked for my buddy's dad's grading and excavating company. So basically like a road company. We laid water pipe and
You're not grading papers.
no, like grading the ground. Like we were basically we installed sewer pipe.
That
Is it
was a
sewer
joke,
pipe?
it didn't work.
Sorry. We were installing sewer pipe actually in Covington. And dude, seriously, I do not I cannot even express to you the level of OSHA violation that is letting a 17-year-old drive a backhoe on the campus of Emory University. Like, I'm not even kidding. I drove a backhoe on the Emory University campus. I'm 17 years old. I drove a rented F-650 dump truck from downtown Atlanta back to Snellville, Georgia. I drove skid steers.
I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
I directed traffic. This is basically at the end of it. They were like, you basically are good at directing traffic. That's about it. So I directed traffic, and I'll tell you, Billy, the number of times I almost died directing traffic that summer, super high. I remember my boss came over and he's like, hey, if the dude blows the stop sign, you jump out of the way. Don't stand there and try and get him to stop. I'm like, okay. He's like, because if you die, I get in a lot of trouble. And I'm thinking, that's what you're going to get in trouble for? But I will say, it was a really exciting time. I loved it. It was so much money. I think he paid me, and at the time, this is in the early 2000s, he paid me like $13 an hour. It was more than I made in most of my jobs as an adult up until a certain point. And it was a fun job. I got to be with my buddies. It was hot as all get out because it was the summer. And I got to drive all these things that no 17-year-old should be driving, especially not in public downtown. And I look at the 17-year-olds I know now because I have kids and I have teenagers and I work with teenagers at church. And I think I would not let that kid drive a backhoe. Not even on my best day would I let that kid drive one of my backhoes anywhere near other people. Just wouldn't do it. There's maybe one 17-year-old I know that I would let drive a piece of heavy equipment. and that's it. Like, other than that. So that was my weird one. I couldn't believe, as I look back on it now, I still can't believe that anybody would have let me drive anything, even a car, honestly.
It's gotta be every guy's dream to, at some point, operate a piece of heavy machinery.
Oh, yeah.
It
And
certainly is mine.
if I didn't take that, take that to the bank every time I talk to a lady, you know what I mean? Like, "Oh, yeah, I've operated heavy machinery. That's no big deal," because chicks dig that kind of thing. Now,
Yeah.
I mean, I had to go get a pedicure afterwards, but it was fine, whatever. I'm just kidding. I've never had a pedicure.
They're great, we'll go.
No, please, no. Don't let people touch my feet. That was a weird that was an awkward silence. All right. Well, that is all I had on the agenda for today. I think we should definitely couple of things I would like to see is if anybody has a worth it or not question, put it in the comments of the YouTube or the whatever, and if we watch those, I don't know if we see the comments or not, but put your worth it or not questions in the comments. Definitely, if you've got a weird job you want us to discuss on our greater, larger weird job episode, do that. But that's all. That's all I had for today, Billy. What do you think?
Yep, sounds good. OpenTabsPC.com, PC for podcast. OpenTabsPC.com connects to all of our socials and stuff, whatever
Yeah,
your
and it's fixed.
whatever
It
your
works.
thing is. Yes, indeed.
Totally works.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
So reach
check us
out to
out
us. We're real
on
people.
yeah, check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple, Google, whatever it is, you can listen to us there. We don't judge. I mean, Billy judges you if you use Apple Podcasts a little bit.
I have to
Yeah.
remain intellectually honest with, the world. Sorry.
But anywhere fine podcasts are found, you'll find the Open Tabs podcast. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great week.
So long.